almost a glitch in the sky, and I couldn't understand what this glitch was. And so I sat up and I looked. When I looked next to me, my friend was no longer there, and I knew something had happened to me. And I thought, oh my gosh, what happened? Where am I? Like, am I dreaming? Or, I was lying on the blanket, and I thought this must be a dream. And I sat up and I looked and I saw this glitch. And it's almost like if you take two pieces of a screen and you fit it together, it's just out of place. Like the one frame does not fit the next frame, and everything just had a glitch. And I found that, really weird. It's almost like a feeling that came to me and said, well, you're no longer on Earth. It was kind of a feeling. And I thought, if I'm not on Earth, then where am I? And as I had these questions inside of me, I started feeling a pulling. It's almost like something started pulling or tugging at me and taking me somewhere, but it was more my soul and not physical. Well, at this point, I was still physical. I had a body. I was looking at this glitch in the sky, but I felt this tugging and I felt this pulling. And then when I let go and I just gave into this pulling feeling, I found myself in a void. It was a complete void. And then I automatically knew that I had left my body. In this void, I wasn't there for very long, where three beings came to me and they said, Rochelle, I need to, well, this is all telepathic. They said, Rochelle, I need to show you a few things. Mind you, Jeff, before this, I was probably agnostic. I knew I believed in something, but I didn't know about source. And these three beings of light, they also had a human shape, not male or female, just made of light. And they said, okay, I have some, I need to take you somewhere and show you something. I went with them. The first instance, they put me in a scenario where I was lying on a hospital bed and my friends and family was around me. I must have been the same age. And they said to me, you need to say goodbye to your family now. So when I was lying on the hospital bed, this is the one scenario. I was lying in the hospital bed and I started, out of body, I watched my body on the hospital bed. And then I went around to each person in the room, just saying goodbye and whispering in their ear that I love them. At this point, my daughter was 6 years old. So I went to her and I whispered in her ear that I loved her very, very much. And I'll see her soon. And then I don't know what happened, but the next instant I was literally at source. It was just bright light and love, and everybody that passed was there. My brother-in-law was also there, and it was complete bliss. It was just something undescribable. It's something that you cannot explain to someone. There's no, like they said, a lot of people say there's no words. There is no words to describe source. The second scenario, they asked me, I need to show you something more. So while I'm at the source, they asked me, do I want to stay there or do I want to see my daughter again? And I said, no, I definitely want to go back down to my daughter. And before I got to into my body, they put me through a second scenario. So the first scenario was acknowledging that I had died. The second scenario was now that you understand about death, you need to understand how to protect yourself, because not everything is, roses down up in earth. And so what they did was they showed me, in order to protect yourself, you need to take that source light, filter it down into the center or your third chakra and keep it there. And this is how you deal with negative entities. You take that source and you just build it up inside of you. Once I knew how to do that, I then popped down back into earth, but I didn't go directly into earth. It was now back into the dimension with the glitch. And as I understood this dimension, I slowly filtered back into the third dimension. When I got there, when I got to the third dimension, back into my body, my friend was next to me. She was probably, crying, sitting over me. I could see those tears running down her cheek. And she said, "Where have you been? You weren't breathing." And though I had the weirdest reaction, I actually started laughing, and I was so happy. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I need to tell you something. I need to tell you something." And I said, "I know I died." And I just, brushed it off. And I said, "No, don't worry about me dying. It's fine. I need to tell you something." And she was absolutely broken. So I tried to explain to her what happened, but that didn't happen.